Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, welcome to a new week. Welcome to a new month. We are in the month of June. And of course, the Bitcoin bull run continues. And today, there is a target I want to share. But not only that, there are a lot of great things happening in this space. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what to expect this week, this month, and the end of this cycle, and so much more. All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys. We are starting out great. We got Richard gifting 10 memberships in the live chat, and Bitcoin nearly at 70,000 once again. Now, a lot of you guys do watch my Sunday walk video. And I said, I think Bitcoin's going to hit 70K this week. And it's looking like we're going to hit it today, 69,800. We're off to a strong start. Now, a lot of you guys may think that May was a bad month. But no, May was actually a green month. So that's the thing. A lot of people thought that we had 2 consecutive red months. No, that's not the case. We had 7 green months. Then 1 down month in April. May, usually it's go away in May, but it was still a green month. But now that we're past in June, the acceleration of gains may be here. So we'll see. We're starting out the week so far so good. But what else is going on? Well, another good thing is that there are no Fed speakers today or this week. I don't know, periodically we just get a whole bunch of Fed governors and presidents and Powell just speaking, and it spooks the U.S. markets. None of that this week, so that's absolutely fantastic. We do have a couple of economic data to look at. One in particular that's not even in the U.S. The ECB is supposed to have a rate cut this week. I don't know when or how much or if it's even going to happen. Okay, we were talking about rate cuts in the U.S. Fed is going to do so. When? When is Powell going to do it? Is it next month or the month after that? We'll see, but we'll see what the ECB does first. And the U.S. job report, it's been going down. So we're not going in a good direction. But that may ultimately force a faster rate cut depending on how fast the economy is slowing down. So those are some things that's leading off, or some things to watch out for, I guess, this week. But the U.S. market right now is opening up in the green. And of course, a lot of people are talking about GameStop once again. GameStop is soaring. How much is it up? 64%. Trading halted because Roaring Kitty decided to show his bag. His bag of 200 million. Okay, in GME, 115 million in just GME alone, and he has placed a 66 million call for June of 21. That's crazy at $20, right? So I think Roaring Kitty did this because he already lost 2.5 million on his call, and he wants to make sure that GME pumps way above $20 so that he doesn't lose out on that $66 million. Now, I know everyone's cheering, but now that I'm thinking about this and putting 2 and 2 together, this is something that I think the SEC and Gary would go after him for. Because that call, I just realized, is a June 21st call. That is ending this month. And he was already down because GME was below $20. And the fact that he posted this, knowing that he has the power to pump GameStop, this is actually quite dangerous. This is self-serving. And this could definitely lead to some investigations by the SEC. But anyways, nevertheless, a lot of people are like this, and it is causing GameStop to pump quite a lot. But in crypto land, we do have a GME token as well that pumped like 200%. It's coming down a little bit, but this GameStop GME token always does so whenever GME does well. So we'll see where it goes. Can it use the momentum and continue further? We will see. We will see. All right. What else is there? What else is there in regards to Bitcoin? Well, Australia is going to have their very first spot Bitcoin ETF, and that's going to go live tomorrow, which right now is probably Australia's nighttime. So it's only like we only have to wait half a day basically. Okay. So that's good. We're getting ETFs everywhere, right? We got it in Hong Kong, we got it in Australia, we have it in the US, obviously, in Canada, and several other places. And in case you're wondering, in May, yes, again, a lot of people thought that May was a bad month for Bitcoin. It was not. May, the ETFs added nearly 30,000 Bitcoin. Now that's removed from circulation. Again, April, we had a down month, yes. But every single month outside of this last April has been net positive. The ETFs are just taking more and more Bitcoin out of circulation, right? And now we have BlackRock leading the way. They have more Bitcoin than Grayscale. It finally happened. They're both nearly $20 billion. Just the US alone has 858,000 Bitcoin. And then you add all the other ones up, all the other ETFs and ETPs around the world. Well, that's 1 million plus. Okay, that's 1/20th of the entire supply in such a little amount of time. And it's only going to keep on increasing. It's going to be a perpetual cycle. Okay, meaning the higher the Bitcoin price goes, the more buying there will be. And the more buying there will be, the higher the price goes. And it'll just keep on going. And it's going to keep on going. I don't think it's going to stop. And more ETFs are coming. More and more countries are adding ETFs because there's an appetite for Bitcoin. So the cycle is not going to be over. Now, as for the bull market, okay, we know we've been in a bull market. Right? You could argue we've been in a bull market since 16,000. But really, the bull market, the parabolic phase, starts after the halving event, which, of course, did happen already. Right? If you want colored dots and you want to know for sure, we're in the bull market. Okay? And you could see what happens in the bull market. Pretty good things. Very, very good things. And Bitcoiners in profit is around 93%. Again, this is why I have a hard time when I see the comments from my videos. Okay, I don't always go through them, but I look through and so many people are starting to get bearish. I'm like, how could you be bearish at what? We're at 70,000 now. How can anyone be bearish when 93% of all Bitcoiners are in profit, probably higher now since we're around 70,000. Like, I just don't get it. We've come up so much, so fast, and all the data that I've been showing are still absolutely fantastic. Yet there are some people turning bearish. Doesn't quite make sense. Right? We're going to have volatility. We're going to have dips. We could have days or weeks of dips. With long term, when in doubt, zoom out, and you could see the pattern right in front of your eyes. It's not very hard. And here's another pattern. This year, okay, we also have the presidential election. And you know the funny thing is, because of the 4-year cycle, every single time we have a halving event, we have a presidential election. Like, that's the funny thing. We have it every single 4 years, right? Every single cycle. So, again, you could argue that the parabolic phase usually starts after the halving event, but also after the election. So, look at what happened in 2017, right? 2017, it wasn't until after Trump got elected, that's when Bitcoin broke through its previous high of $1,000. Then it started going up. You can make the same argument in 2021. It wasn't until Biden was elected when Bitcoin hit its previous high of 20,000, and then it started going up to 69,000. But obviously this time around we're ahead because we have the ETFs, right? We're not even in November. We already broke all-time high many, many times. But can the pattern still continue? Can we still see Bitcoin go up parabolically after a new president is in? Well, based on history, yeah. 3 out of 3, that's been the case. And we're ahead of the game. And we're going to get rate cuts this year. I mean, there are so many factors at play that are all extremely bullish for Bitcoin's price appreciation. So that's why. That's why we have these predictions. Like Peter Brandt predicts Bitcoin will reach 150K. Right? I think that's actually very conservative. I mean, this is the chart that he's using. Peter Brandt is like a pure TA guy. He's looking at all the previous halving events and how much Bitcoin goes up afterwards, right? And he's projecting with a logarithmic growth curve that Bitcoin will probably top out at around 150,000, right? But I argue that's very conservative. Because I argue that this growth curve, right, didn't reach its full potential because of what happened in 2021. Right? We know that, or 2022, I should say. We're in 2021, 2022. We had a lot of black swan events. We had a lot of things going on, right? A lot of manipulation. And we didn't peak out at 100K. And of course, we had the Fed raising rates. We didn't peak out at 100K when we should have. Had we peaked out at 100K, this growth curve would be showing a greater curve, and I think that would show that Bitcoin should top out around $250,000 to $300,000. So I think that is where we're going to end up. Okay, but one thing's for certain: if you look at after the halving event, the number of days where Bitcoin stays bullish and stays in that parabolic phase is around the same. 2016, about 532 days afterwards. 2020, 546 days afterwards. So this time around, if we have 500 days afterwards, we're pushing, again, well into the latter half of 2025. And that is when it's going to get the most bullish, right? So we're about to hit 70K. Like I predicted yesterday. My Sunday walk videos have been really, really good, guys. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but my last 3 Sunday walks videos have been absolutely on point. You guys need to start watching it if you haven't. Anyways, outside of Bitcoin, we still have Ethereum, okay? $3 billion worth of Ethereum has come out of exchanges, and that is good. That is good. The exchanges their reserves, okay, are going down and dropping like a rock. I mean, just look at it. This is for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and look at the trajectory. Again, it doesn't take much to figure this out. Since 2020, when the exchange reserves peaked, okay, to now, you could see it just keeps on going down and down and down and down. The ability to buy crypto, even though there are more ways to do so, more avenues to do so, right? But how plentiful they are have been going down and will continue to go down forever. And of course, that leads to price appreciation because there's a supply shock. And ultimately, what drives prices up is just supply and demand. Supply is going down and demand is going up. It's just really that simple. It's not rocket science to figure this out, right? All right. So besides Bitcoin and Ethereum, what else is there? I did mention about I did mention yesterday about Notcoin and Telegram, right? Or Toncoin. But yeah, I mean this coin is nutty. I started doing more research on it. There's really not much else to say besides that it's a clicker game, but it is definitely the tokenomics and burning mechanism is driving this thing up like crazy. So they have 1.6 million on-chain holders now. Overall, they brought in like 30 million people or something like that. And their transactional volume is absolutely insane, close to 5 billion in 24 hours span. And I noticed that they're having a good day today. Not only a good day today, they're well above a billion. I thought they just hit a billion, but they're at 2.3 billion. And if you sort by 7-day performance, they are far and away the leader at 221% gains, right? So my point is this, it kind of shows you how a viral DApp, in this case, you could argue a viral game, but a viral game or DApp can do a lot, right? Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. You see a lot of people build a whole bunch of stuff that you could argue have a lot more use, or they are a lot more, I don't know, mainstream, or a lot more useful. But ultimately, what you need is just viralness. Something. Does it help someone to make money? Does it help them have some fun? Does it help them? Does it keep them entertained? Right. That's ultimately what it is. But so it is growing like a meme coin, and it is not a meme coin. And Bitcoin is above 70,000. We're starting out the day really, really well. That's it. That's it. All right. Let's do some Q&A. All right, now the exposure looks much better. All right, let me scroll up here. Got a lot of gifting today. Crazy gifting. Hajami Nola gifted 50 memberships. I just noticed that now. 50 memberships. Richard Pryor gifted 10 memberships. Now we have a lot more. George is in the chat. Thank you. All right, let's see. Michael gave a $1 super chat. Appreciate that. All right. Nigel's asking thoughts on VeChain. Will they hit all-time high again? Yes. But they're not producing what people want to see. Right now, Sonny is going all about sustainability and pushing dApps that's about helping the earth, which is great. You know, great cause. Go green, sustainability, but really love to see a little bit more on the DeFi side, on the gaming side, on the infrastructure side. They're coming up light. I don't see any major things coming out in those regards. I'm hoping that they're really working on something and maybe pushing a big grant, growing the ecosystem, but that's kind of like the direction they're going, which is kind of weird. Johnny says, my portfolio does a 2x. I would retire at 43. Well, you're like in the same situation as me then. I hope that happens. 2x from here on out will definitely happen. If you simply wait from now to end of 2025, I have a very, very hard time believing you're not going to at least double your portfolio unless you're just holding on nothing but shit coins. Crypto Crow's KO power is from Condonzo Rage Hold. What do you mean KO? Oh. I got it now. Opinions on Fetch. Hey, Evan, in, what is it? In 2 weeks, the merge is going to happen with Singularity and Ocean. So the new ASI token will be out. I think they're going to be a powerhouse. What are your thoughts? Michael asked about Earn. I don't have thoughts on Earn. I don't even know what Earn is. It's a great symbol, but I have no idea. It can't be this project. Which Earn is it? They're both very, very small. Thoughts on AIT protocol? Good play this bull run. Yeah, I've invested in AIT. I got in early as a pre-seed investor, but you know, they're making some moves. They're making partnership with all the other like AI projects that's existing and coming out. We'll see. We'll see. I think anything in AI could potentially be doing good this bull market, right? Jose, did you meet Joe Rogan IFC? I didn't meet him. He came in like by himself with his posse. And he was pretty close to me, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him. But I'm hoping he paid attention. You know, he came for normal fights, but he stayed for an entire thing. He watched the IFC portion and he saw Billy fight. So I'm hoping that caught his eye and maybe he wants to talk about IFC and maybe there's a chance that he'll bring me on to talk about IFC and crypto someday. That'd be insane. Hoping that happens. Johnny Little, have you looked into TrueFi? I have. I'm neutral on them. They're DeFi project and their own stable coin. TUSD is also by them. Now they look okay, but not terribly bullish on them. I'd appreciate it. I wonder if, yeah, GME, even though it pumped, is starting to lose momentum. I still think revealing this from Roaring Kitty is absolutely dangerous because he revealed it so close to his $20 call option, or so close to the expiration of his $20 call option. So that is definitely, I would argue, manipulation. If this call option was like a 2025 call option, I don't think anyone would care, right? But the fact that it's a call option that's going to expire in 3 weeks, and obviously he's down on it on millions already. He does not want to lose the remainder of that $66 million that he has, which probably pumped up like 100% due to today. Man, he's probably up to like $300 $400 million now. If he plays his cards right, he'll be a billionaire soon. But I mean, I think this is total manipulation. But you know, as long as people make money from it, I guess that's all that matters. What's your take on celeb memes? I think as more and more reveal them or come out with them, they're going to lose more and more traction, and the SEC is going to go after them. I think a lot of them forgot about the celebrities that endorse projects, and a lot of them were targeted by the SEC. I think this time around it's going to be the same thing. Joseph, did they say what happened to Ellie's knee during their fight? I spoke to her afterwards. I'm pretty sure. I think she was still waiting to get an MRI, but pretty sure it's the same thing that happened to my knee when I was playing basketball before. Ruptured ACL, meniscus tear. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But, you know, I'll talk to her later this week and see. But she was still in good spirits, so that was good. But it was kind of painful to watch. The very first nasty injury in the IFC. Shown off. Appreciate that. Have you seen Big Red's ad on ESPN? I've seen it. It's cool, but will it really affect things for Big Red? I don't know. But I do know I met Nam in Consensus, hung out, had dinner. He paid for dinner once. Good guy. And I met Fran many times before. And I know Chris. I know those guys are working hard at Big Red. So whatever it takes, they're going to do it. Joyride. Joyride, I've been watching your video since December. What do you think of Pepe on Sol? No. It's a direct copy of the real thing. It's not going to do well. If you make money on it because from a random pump, then great. But there's no way Pepe on Sol is going to come anywhere close to Pepe on ETH. What? BNB all-time high? Yeah, you know, no one ever talks about BNB, but they just silently like move up and up and up and up. I mean, they're a powerhouse. They're almost at 100 billion again, and they're only 8% off from their high. It's kind of insane. No one talks about BNB, but I did back in the day. I covered BNB when it was like sub like $5, like probably $3 or $4. And the first run in when did it come out? Like late 2017. They pumped up to $20-something, and then in 2021 they pumped up to this amount. I mean, BNB is just, people don't realize how big Binance is. I'll just leave it at that. Tarun. Have you seen Baby Shark? Do you know what it takes to get a tier 1 listing, or it's not worth the effort? Well, I'm assuming you're part of the team. First of all, it's not worth the effort. You're not going to get it with a small meme. Many huge memes like Pepe is still not on Coinbase. That tells you how hard it is to get on a tier 1 exchange, right? Memes don't have to worry about getting on exchanges. Memes just need to stay meme-ish and build a community, and naturally they can hit billions in market cap even without having any good exchanges. The exchanges will naturally add by themselves if the projects get bigger. So, or reaches like critical mass. So don't worry about it. Just concentrate on getting users, building a community. That's all you need to do. Johnny McGirdle says, George, buddy, Al Horford doesn't ride the bus. Well, he's not a bus driver, that's for sure. He's a bus rider. He's not a bus driver. Luka and Kyrie are bus drivers. Tatum and Brown, to some extent, are bus drivers. Everyone else are just riding along. I'm still surprised Coinbase has not listed Pepe yet. I mean, Pepe has a great story, a lot of controversy behind it, but they've gotten over it. They're the third largest meme. They're coming up on Sheeb, and they're not even listed on Coinbase. When they get listed on Coinbase, it's going to be crazy. They'll probably pump to where Sheeb is. Yeah, that's kind of insane. However, Sheeb and Doge are still like 70 something percent from their previous high. So the good thing is, people that have been holding for 2021, I think we will still see these back to their previous high. Now, how much more can they go afterwards? I really don't know because of so many new memes coming out. Before I would say like Sheeb and Doge could at least do a 2 or 3x beyond their previous high, but this time around, I'm not so certain that's going to be the case because you have like Pepe and Whiff and everything else that's blowing up. Can Sol realistically hit 500 a cycle? Oh, not only will it hit 500, it's go break 1,000. I say pretty easily. Carl, been watching you a while with my father, ABT and GFI. And what college would you recommend for economy? I don't ask me that. I didn't go. I didn't attend for economy. I don't think you need to. I don't know. You can learn about economy pretty well, or just get into economics. I don't know what schools go for that, but I mean, you could learn that pretty much yourself. Arc block, Goldfinch, not two I'm terribly excited about. Goldfinch is a RWA play, more like banking stuff. And Arc block is a L1, I'm pretty sure. Not too familiar, but neither one are projects that I'm excited about. Andy says, if you want to expand CryptosRUs Plus, see if you can find a female host. Yeah, but I just need better content on CRU Plus, right? The guys are working hard, but I think we need to improve upon it. The competition is fierce, so we need to stand out. So we just need better content. I don't think it's a matter of male or female hosts. You think Bitcoin will stay above 70K today or retrace back again? You know, it's hovering there. Okay, it's hovering there. So, you know what? It's just a matter of time before Bitcoin breaks out and then people forget and forget about all the sideways movement. That's how it always is. I don't think any of you guys remember that, back in January and February, we were still like 30,000. No one remembers that. That's just how it is. And once we break into the 80s finally and 90s and 100, no one's going to remember that we dipped down to 50s, in April. That's just how it is. But in the meantime, since I'm streaming every day pretty much, I may repeat myself often. But that's just to make sure everyone gets the message. Yeah, honestly, like my opinion about higher education has changed vastly over the years, especially with AI now. Within the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years, AI is going to absolutely change the landscape on so many categories, so many niches. Um, it's kind of like pre-internet and then post-internet. Basically, you had all these new jobs open up that had never existed before. And it's going to be the same thing. You could say pre-AI and post-AI, you're going to have so many new jobs open up. And higher education for me is still great. Obviously, if you have kids, you want them to have higher education, but so many things could be self-taught now. So many things could be learned simply by Googling or using AI. Unless it's a field where you must attend classes to learn, it's not mandatory. It's not a requirement, even for me and my kids. So, I mean, that's how I see it. Like, if you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, like things that require a ton of experience and time, then yeah, those kind of fields, of course, needs it. Um, but like, if you're gonna be what I don't know, a programmer, for example, you could self teach yourself to code in any language. You don't need to go to college for that. You want to go into IT, you want to learn networking, you want to learn how to maintain server farms. You don't need to go to college for that. You could self teach and take certification classes. You could do all that yourself without ever going into you know, a college. There are so many things that you could self teach yourself now. Kim is asking, are you still bullish on Cockinu? Yeah, I still am. What stocks are you in? Nothing. The only thing I have open is Coinbase calls, which are doing well. But I should have. I don't have a lot. Like if I was going to reopen it, I'd probably put them in like Nvidia, because Nvidia is just an absolute beast. Um, the only stocks I would ever buy, like right now, would be Coinbase, MicroStrategy, and Nvidia, and maybe Microsoft. Like those four. That's it. I wouldn't buy anything else. I wouldn't touch anything else. There's no reason to touch anything else. I met a lot of the Cock members at Consensus because they bought tickets to support their fighter, Brave Cock, but he wasn't able to fight. But I'm gonna try to get him to fight in July. But I met a lot of the supporters. I met the team. Both Wojak and Gribbly was there. Cock community is awesome. They really are. They're really, again, when it comes to meme building, it's all about community. They have a great community. So any memes that want to succeed long term, you got to build that. You got to build that community. Bento, what do you think about Harami? Isn't it like Vitalik's cat or something like that? I hate that name. So I don't know. I don't know. Venno is saying, do you not think it's smart to take a crypto earnings and buy ETFs or different stocks and set myself up for a retirement future? Here's an honest truth that I'm assuming you're asking because you're a young guy. The path to wealth is not through diversification. Okay? Just think about that for a second. Diversification is for protecting wealth, not to build wealth. If you want to build wealth, stick with one thing alone, and build your wealth that way, and then diversify. Right? So, what is that one thing? I mean, it could be crypto, it could be Bitcoin, it could be, I don't know, you could say stocks, it could be real estate. But stick with that one thing, build that wealth from that one thing, and then diversify to protect your wealth. Okay? That's my motto. And I know that works. And I know many people that have gotten wealthy have done that. They didn't get wealthy by diversifying to 5 different things or 10 different things. You want to stick with that one thing. Just like Roaring Kitty, he stuck with GME. That's what made him wealthy, right? He didn't try to get into 15 different stocks. He just stuck with one. Same thing. A lot of people made a lot of money with Tesla too, right? It's kind of the same. But sometimes you do have to change. Like Tesla, I'm just not very bullish on, but it's obvious something like Nvidia is. Kay says, I didn't think about Microsoft. I better go fight. Well, Microsoft owns 49% of OpenAI. Think about that, okay? They will be a powerhouse in the AI space. That Microsoft have made some great investments before. People don't realize they bought 5% of Facebook for next to nothing back in the day. Or it wasn't next to nothing. It was like $1 billion investment. But that turned out to be one of the greatest investments they ever made. And this investment in OpenAI is going to make them trillions, potentially. Not billions, trillions. Yeah. So Microsoft is going to do just fine in the future. How do you feel about Aerodrome? I'm not bullish on Aerodrome anymore, to be honest. And the reason being, all the base memes are on Uniswap. There's no reason to use Aerodrome. I haven't come across a base beam where I couldn't buy straight from Uniswap. So I really don't see the point of Aerodrome. So that's why, so I'm not bullish on them. My boosted German fleet. Aerodrome isn't that great, but they have some incentivized pools for good yield. Well, that's good. I still can't get them to work. Every time I try to connect my MetaMask, it just and I try to make a trade, it just spins and saying waiting for price update, and it never updates. I don't know what's going on. I can never get Aerodrome to work myself. But again, people just buy memes on Uniswap. Santiago, do you think most big alts will go back to all-time high of the last bull cycle? I think most, yes. You're talking about big ones, mid caps, big caps, yes. I could almost argue that everything in the top 100 will at least reach their previous 2021 high. At least reach it. I know that's a big statement, but for something to stay in the top 100, I mean, that's tough. A lot have dropped into page 2 and 3, but the ones that are still holding I think they have a really good chance of doing so. Although some of these are still off by like 90%, 95%. Um, because you got a lot of newcomers in the space too that's taking up space. But I think so. I think so. Han is asking percent of money people should have in their bank versus crypto. Again, I can't answer that. It's just whatever you feel comfortable with. Like for me, it's like 99% in crypto. Like I only have enough cash to just pay the normal bills and that's it. I'd leave nothing. I leave nothing in cash. Now in crypto, I do have stable coins. That's different. I don't know if that's what you mean, but to leave it in a bank, there's no point of that. You're just seeing it waste away with inflation. Like really, that's what it comes down to. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't have any cash to be able to DCA and buy the dips. That's different. Okay. So if you're asking about like how much cash should you have, that's like 20, 25, 30%. Like I think that's a good amount. But to have just cash sitting in your bank doing nothing, I really see that as pointless. When are new inflation figures published? I mean, they just came out with them last month. PCE, CPI, PCE came in, you know, yeah, with expectations. CPI was higher, but then they start fudging the numbers because they start excluding categories. I don't know. Inflation is still high. We know it. Inflation is still high. It's entrenched. There are some prices that never come back down. It's pretty obvious at this point. We're way past COVID period times, and items are not getting cheaper. So bottom line is inflation will continue to rob you of your wealth. So if you don't invest, you're just going to see your wealth diminish over time. That's just what it comes down to. Law, that's where you're wrong. Because more and more people are asking to fight. So I think you're just 100% wrong about that. Nothing wrong with poker. I love to do poker tournaments too. But you'd be surprised how many people have said yes and are willing to fight in the upcoming IFC fights. It's a great way for people to get in shape. Some of these guys have lost 20, 30, 40 pounds and they're in the best shape of their life. So if nothing else, they get that. I mean, so many, even Nick Carter told me he's in the best shape of his life by far, not even close. And the ones that have fought in IFC too, same thing. Simran, thoughts on FTM rebranding to Sonic? We'll see. It's a new chain, completely different. So it's supposed to be faster and better economics and have a bridge to Ethereum. So I don't know if it's not a rebrand, it's a brand new chain. And I don't know if the existing chain gets decommissioned or there'll just be two chains. I think there's going to be two chains, and there'll be a like an airdrop mechanism. I think that's I think that's how it's gonna work. What happened to Berkshire Hathaway? I don't know what happened. Did they drop a lot? Second thoughts on dumping a Cybertruck or did dodge a bullet? You know what? I saw many Cybertrucks this past week in Austin, And I got to say, it's growing on me. The more I see it, the more I want to buy one. So, but I still hear a lot of terrible things about the Cybertruck and how inventory is building because no one wants to buy it. I'm hoping they just get rid of that 20K, you know, what is it? Markup? I guess a 20K markup on the Foundation series. If they just sell them at their normal price at 80K, I think a lot more people buy them. But it just looks so different from anything else out there. And whether or not you like them or not, it's different. You see a million F-150s and Silverados and Rams, and they all look the same. But you see a Cybertruck, it just looks different. Frank says, I'm picking up mine today. Congrats. You tell me how it is, Frank. I know you got some cool cars. You picked up a 6x6, you said, and you have a McLaren. You let me know how the Cybertruck is. Now I'm kind of like leaning more towards picking one up too, but yeah. Anyways, all right, guys. To conclude, bull market is back in force. Once again, because we're at 70K. Well, it never went away, guys. Okay, it never went away. But, you know, people's like sentiment change from week to week so often. But not me. I'm bullish. I'm always bullish. And I think it's great to be bullish because there are so many great things happening in this space. So I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care.